Okay, so then Sarah's strategy. So Sarah, I'm gonna get Sarah to come in here with me now. So that's how the program works. So she's in my office. So come on over, Sarah. I'll just give you a little background on Sarah. So Sarah, I'm gonna go back a second before I get into this. So basically, Sarah came to work with us how long ago?
About 2 months.
And how long have you been a broker?
Since April.
So she's been a broker for less than a year. And we've had probably at least 5 or 6 people approach us since we've moved into this office and asked to join our team. And we're like, nah, you're not a good fit. But when we met Sarah, I knew that she was a go-getter and she had drive. And so I'm like, yeah, you can join because people who have drive, you can learn from each other. And so we showed Sarah the VIP program and she's like, okay, great, I'm doing it. And then she took, so what did you do differently when you took the campaign? So tell me about your first month, what you're doing.
So I think the main thing that I did was I paid for a boost on Facebook. And then I asked people to like my page and share for ballads. So before I was investing money into boosting on Facebook for articles that other mortgage brokers had written. So, I mean, I'm sure it was good for their business, but it didn't do anything for mine. So I think that was the biggest thing that I did. That was the first step. And I don't know if you had the results from that.
Yeah. So then so Sarah's list, like my list is over 900. Sarah's list was starting at, which is bigger now, but it was like 56 people. And Sarah so my list, I have a 30% entry rate. So the number of people that enter my contest is about 30%, which is pretty good. Sarah's list had a 514% entry rate because she had more entries than me on a list my list is 16 times bigger. Well, at least it was, not anymore. It was 16 times bigger, and she had that many entries because she basically took the idea and then amped it up with a Facebook boost. So how long did you run it for, the campaign?
1 week, which I think was a little bit too long. And I invested $50 into the boost.
And then, so again, it's just like, the amazing part is that, so you have this thing and it works really well, as you guys see, and I walk you through it. It works really well. And then someone comes along who's brand new with a fresh set of eyes and says, why don't I just boost this thing? And I don't know why, I've never thought of it, but it's so amazing to see how this actually helped you grow your list. So what's your list at right now? Do you know?
I don't know exactly what it is at right now.
I know. So if you, because I know the guy who runs it for us. So I messaged him and said, hey, tell me how much, what is Sarah's list on? So she's went from 56 to 149 people. So she added something like 90 some people to her list by boosting it for a week on Facebook. And these are all friends of friends. So Jonah says I just cut out. Can you hear me now, Jonah? So basically, so when you boosted it, so what kind of link and stuff did you put in there? So what did you do?
I wrote that I was excited to launch my first VIP giveaway and that it was to Lululemon. I think women are usually the decision makers. So I'm trying to make mine as, I don't want my gifts to be gender neutral as much as, get geared towards women. Women love Lululemon. So that's going to be my next challenge, is finding out how to keep people as engaged. This month I'm doing a Cactus Club one and I haven't had quite as good a response on it. And I just said no strings attached.
Right. People don't. Here's the thing. When I let people on my VIP club, they don't have to be my customer. Of course, if they keep getting these positive messages from us, a lot of people will either reach out to you or become your customer, like Vanessa did, and send us a referral. And so the cool part is you take the idea, you take the strategy, and you go, okay, I'm going to run these campaigns. I'm investing in my database, but I'm also now taking it and I'm going to apply it to my friends of my network and get a much better result. So I haven't done it yet, but I'm pretty pumped about applying the same idea to my list. So my list is 16. Here's the stats on it. She basically increased her list by 93 people in 1 month. So I don't know if you guys, depending on your list size, and maybe the thing is, part of it for me is I had a pretty good size list and I never felt like I needed to do anything. But when I seen that much of a response, I'm like, oh my gosh, I what was I thinking? Why didn't I do this? So what have you had any response in terms of from potential leads or anything since you started?
I've had a couple of inquiries. I haven't gotten any leads from it yet, but I understand it's a marathon, not a race. So I'm in it for the long haul. I'm sure things will come up from it. Right.
And just Vanessa, she was on my list for 2 or 3 years. And so the thing is, if you stick, the consistency is key. If I would have stopped doing it, she would have forgotten about me. And then I never would have got her mortgage and her friend's mortgage. So once you get somebody start the campaign, you keep running them. But I love the idea of taking something you're already doing and putting a little juice behind it and using sort of social networks to promote it. And yeah, I was just, when I was kind of tracking the responses in my entries versus Sarah's, and I'm like, she's kicking my butt. This is like crazy. So it was totally awesome. So if you guys decide that you want to do this VIP club thing, we'll show you how you can get involved in it. Some of you already are. Some of my, like Glenn is already a customer, and a few other folks. So if you want, we'll show you how that works. But is there any other sort of advice you'd give somebody who's thinking about applying this to their business?
I think the other thing that I did was I decided to private message some people on Facebook, which Facebook will warn you if you're doing it too often, sending the same message, and threaten to shut you down if you're spamming. But just letting people know that you're running the VIP club. And I'll read you the note that I sent to about 80 people. I said, "Hey, Deanne, hope you're doing well. I recently started a VIP club for my mortgage biz. I'll be giving away cool prizes every month. All I need is your email address, and you'll automatically be entered into my monthly giveaway. Sound good?" And probably about 75% of the people that I PM said yeah and gave me their email address. So
right. This is the thing I love about Sarah. So when she started with us, she's like, okay, I'm like, Sarah, you need to phone some realtors. And she's just like on the phone, bang, calling realtors, like, just relentless. So then one day I'm in the office and she's like, I don't want to call realtors today. What should I do? And I'm like, why don't you try to grow your list? And she's like, I know what I'll do. And she immediately took action and started on Facebook and started messaging some of the people that was in your network, right?
Mm-hmm.
And saying, hey, and then you had how many more people that came onto your list from that?
Yeah, I think 60 or 70 at least.
Right. So again, because you're not saying, hey, you want to join my rate sheet? Like you're going to be like, oh my gosh, like, how do I tell you no? Or you can put me on there and then I'll unsubscribe. So I think it's a very powerful, because again, it's that whole WIIFM, what's in it for me? It's very customer focused. It's all about them. And over time, you'll win them over.